This teacher was lying on the car window. She knocked hard, woke up the students inside. Then she rang the bell to call the next one. Because her students are street children, they had to sleep in the car with their parents at the bottom of the nursery. When the students entered the newly refurbished classroom, everyone was stunned. The classroom looked like this just a few days ago. Now it finally has the look of a classroom. And the students had a learning atmosphere. They felt the seriousness of the teacher. No more mischief. They sit properly. They know they don't have money for food. The teacher also prepared breakfast for them. She asked Danny, the most mischievous one, to help distribute it. He started to take responsibility when he was reappointed. Next, the teacher wrote down a word of respect and asked who knew what it meant. Danny volunteered to answer. He went to the store with his mom. Mom didn't do anything and the police told her to get out. He felt that the police were disrespectful. A lot of kids agree. They were often driven away by the police. Only one girl disagreed because she had been locked in the basement by her birth mother, denied food and water until the police rescued them, and she was always protecting her brother. The teacher was heartbroken. She wrote the second word brave on the word card. In this way, the teacher, little by little, she taught the students the words, teaching them manners and respect. As more and more word cards were put on the wall, the students are gradually changing. But the teacher didn't just limit herself to the cultural lessons. She brought in tape recorders to teach them music lessons. She invited an old man who could draw to teach them art lessons. Under her careful education, they began to love learning. They waited for the teacher early every morning. She volunteered to share the teachers the task of waking up and distributing breakfast. But the arrival of more and more street children, the pregnant teacher felt overwhelmed. So she went to the school board again. This time she went straight to the superintendent. She brought out gifts from each of the students. She told the superintendent their stories.
These kids who have nothing bring me gifts. Don't you think we can do better for them?
Supervisor was impressed. She promised to do her best to get them learning equipment. Before the teacher could even park the car that day, the students were dragging the teacher around with excitement. She entered the classroom and saw new desks, new chairs, new blackboards, new textbooks. They finally had a real classroom. The teacher was so excited that she couldn't speak, so the supervisor had really kept his promise. Looking at the happy children, the teacher was overjoyed. Then the teacher officially hired an old man to be the art teacher for the children. The teaching had just been formalized, but the bad news came immediately. The student Maria's father, the janitor, found out about the vinegar. He was expelled from the detention center. This meant that Maria would also be forced to leave school, so she approached Maria's father. She offered to let Maria stay with her. When he found a stable place to live, she would take her away. He didn't understand and asked why she was helping me. The teacher said she couldn't bear to let the child roam the streets. The father shed tears at the mention of the child. He promised the teacher and promised to make changes. That night the teacher took Maria back home. Her husband and children expressed their utmost kindness, knowing that she had never played baseball. Her sister lent her own baseball glove to play, but Maria was still not happy. This incident made the teacher realize that education is not only a school matter, it also requires parental support and accompaniment.